Everybody has a short story that traumatized them, and today I'm going to be talking about A Perfect Day for Banana Fish by J.D. Salinger, published in 1948. A woman named Muriel Glass is at a beach resort in Florida, and she calls her mother from her room. Through this conversation, we learn she's having some issues with her husband Seymour, who has recently been discharged from the army. For example, they mention talking to a doctor, and her mother seems worried about his recent behavior, and she makes some allusions to some things he's done, but they don't go into specifics. Overall, the concern from the doctor is that he will lose control of himself, and it's clear that he has PTSD. Muriel doesn't seem to be taking it seriously, much to her mother's frustration. We then cut to a little girl named Sybil who has met Seymour before and wants to see him again. She finds him on the beach and he says that he's been waiting for her, and I just have to say this next scene makes me extremely uncomfortable. He touches her ankles and tells her to come closer as he compliments her swimsuit. She gets jealous of another little girl who was sitting with him earlier, and he says that he was pretending that she was Sybil. He says that he wants to catch a banana fish, so they get in the water with her on a raft and him pushing it. He asks Sybil where she lives, and when she says she doesn't know, he says that the other little girl knows where she lives, and so out of jealousy, Sybil tells him where she lives. They talk for a bit, and Sybil asks him if he likes the other little girl. And he says yes because she never hurts dogs, implying that he saw Sybil hurting a dog earlier. He then goes on to explain to her what banana fish are. He says that they're fish who swim into a banana hole, eat a whole bunch of bananas, and then become stuck in there and eventually die. She says she sees one in the water and that it had 6 bananas in its mouth, and suddenly he kisses the bottom of her foot. Afterwards, he says they're going back in, and she says goodbye and runs back to the hotel. When he goes inside and gets the elevator up to his room, he accuses a woman on there of looking at his feet. Once he's back in his room, he sees his wife napping, and he pulls a gun out of his luggage and shoots himself in the head. And that's where the story ends. To me, by far, the most disturbing parts were his interactions with Sybil. And there are a lot of articles out there on what her character represents, so if you're interested in that, I highly suggest looking some up. In regards to the ending, it didn't entirely come as a surprise to me, considering the very lax way in which his wife addressed his mental illness. This was my first time reading this story, it was recommended in my comments a lot, and I can't say I liked it.